Hi, I'm Matt with Meat Church. Let's make a cheesy tater tot burrito that I made on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. Well, we're super excited to be back. It's been quite a few weeks since we've had videos. You guys have been blowing us up. Where are you at? What are you doing? Are you okay? Yes, we're just fine. We have been super busy. We've been upping our production game a bit, and so now we're excited to be back. In these past few weeks, really exciting, Jimmy Fallon reached out, found out he was a big fan of Meat Church, and invited us to be on the iconic Tonight Show. If you guys watched that, it was a ton of fun. We'll put a link to the video here if you haven't checked it out. We got to go on the show and do a 2-minute challenge, myself and Tarik against Jimmy Fallon and my buddy Billy Durney. We had 2 minutes to combine a whole bunch of traditional Super Bowl foods, make a dish, and then vote on it and see who was the winner. And exciting, on the show we announced our brand new seasoning, Blanco. This has been around for about 5 years in my house. Jimmy was gracious enough to let us promote something, so this is what we talked about. Now it's finally out on meatchurch.com. But it started out as a steak shake years ago. Salt, pepper, onion, garlic, butter. But in the 5 years that it's been in my house, I have watched Mrs. Meat Church put it on everything. So we're going to season this dish with it. It's going to be really good. So let me go get the ingredients and we'll jump in. We've got all our ingredients out here, so let's jump right into this. A lot of people that watch the Tonight Show couldn't tell what we made. So again, it was a cheesy tater tot burrito. It was not really too much a recipe, just more for fun, but you should try this because it's pretty delicious. So first thing we're gonna do, get our beef ribs out of the smoker. So got a nice, beautiful rack of 44 Farms beef ribs that I smoked in my mill scale. We have beef rib videos all over this channel, recipes on meatchurch.com. If you want to know how to make those. But what do we do first? So Tarik jumped on the induction burner, dropped in a bunch of tater tots that are already cooked, and then we also had queso on the table, so we loaded it up with queso. Listen to that. Just got a little induction burner going here with my beautiful Heston pan, and all we're going to do is toss this around just to heat it up. While that's hanging out, what I did off to the side was I went ahead and jumped into my beef ribs and I cut out a really big one. There was a strategy behind that, which I'll talk about that in a second. So basically cut against the outside bones to make one super delicious looking beef rib. And then what I did was I removed one of the beef ribs and I just cut it up and just made some chopped while that was heating. So the basis of this dish was a cheesy tater tot burrito with beef rib. So kind of like nachos, but even better because it was with tater tots. So we had a mandatory ingredient that we all had to use, which were tortillas. And on the table there were tortillas of various sizes. I skipped over why I do beef ribs. We got to bring a secret weapon, and I thought if the Texas barbecue guy is going to come up from Waxahachie, Texas, I better bring beef ribs. And ironically, my buddy Billy Durney, who owns Hometown Barbecue in Brooklyn, amazing by the way, he thought it would be funny to also bring beef ribs to try to beat me at my own game. So we both happened to bring beef ribs. So I reached into the stack of tortillas and I got the big burrito size tortilla. And it was time to dump on our cheesy tater tot goodness. Whew. Already looks amazing. Then what we did was we topped it with beef ribs, so you know it's going to be awesome. These beef ribs were seasoned with Meat Church Holy Cow, so just nice and simple. Look, I thought this was kind of a joke. It's actually looking super delicious. Then from here, we just tried to top it again, kind of like nachos, and make it look pretty. So I went with fresh guac right in the middle. Use what you want. Now, I did not use sour cream on the show. That was my plan, but apparently Jimmy has an aversion to sour cream. But Jimmy's not here today, So we're going sour cream. And then just a little bit of pico across the top, nice and pretty. So what was my big strategy? Well, I thought no matter what I made, no matter what we walked into, the way you could win is by topping it with like a 2.5 pound beef rib. Like, why would you not? Oh. Now we're talking. All right, I forgot something to drink, so let me go get that, let this cool off, and we're gonna jump in and see how we did. All right, well, it's time to dig in. One last step. What I did on the show, topped it with what I thought would be the winning dust, Blanco. Well, this didn't really quite make the edit, but when Questlove went to eat this, he came out and just started laughing, so I got my reaction I wanted. I was hoping that I would win just based on the beef rib being on top. He rolled this whole thing up and like acted like he was going to try to eat it with the bone in it. That part kind of got edited out and going to be a little impractical, so we'll move that to the side. And let's just give this a shot. Ooh, this is like 5 pounds. Texas-sized burrito. Look at that. I'm not opening a restaurant, but if I ever do, this is going to be my signature item. Here we go. I don't even know how I'm going to eat this. I'm not going to lie. That's delicious. If you didn't watch the show, you got to go see it. Controversial ending. Questlove was pointing to this as what he thought was the winner, but he checked the wrong box. So Jimmy and Billy took the golden chicken wing home. But it was a ton of fun. I actually think it was the perfect ending. If you watch the very end of the show, Jimmy looked at me and he mouthed, "That was perfect." And I thought so too. So hopefully I'll get a chance to go back on the Tonight Show. It was so much fun. Super awesome. But anyway, I would make that. If you live in Texas and you eat Whataburger breakfast tacos, if you get the potato, egg, and cheese, you're getting tater tots in it with cheese on it, which is what gave me the idea to do this in the first place. Beef rib on top with guac and sour cream, a little bit of pico, and not gonna lie, Blanco's amazing. Super good. You guys should give it a shot. So as we always say, thanks for being here. Like and subscribe. Your subscriptions are how we keep bringing you these free weekly how-to videos. We'll see y'all next week.